my loves, thank you for watching. Welcome back to my video. This video is going to be about my PCOS story, I guess. A lot of women suffer from this. Actually, I believe it's something of 3 in 10 women suffer with this particular syndrome. It's called polycystic ovarian syndrome. So if you would like to keep watching, just keep on watching, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start from the beginning of my PCOS journey, or I don't even know what to call it, really, my story. I have 3 children, so I have had no fertility issues. So fertility wasn't the #1 sign for me. And with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, there are a slew of signs that this particular syndrome exhibits, and unfortunately it is often misdiagnosed because these symptoms and signs that are being experienced aren't always cookie cutter. Everyone is very different. So for me, fertility wasn't an issue. And I do know that a lot of girls out there that do have PCOS, fertility is a big issue for them, and they have such a hard time conceiving because of the syndrome. And I'm very thankful that I didn't. I did have my kids at a younger age, at the beginning of my 20s, so maybe that helped. I have never been on any birth control at all, other than, you know, condoms. And so I think that has helped as well to, you know, I wasn't taking anything hormonal in addition to what I already produce in my own body, so that wasn't an issue. And since I did have my kids very young, I think my body, when I was younger, I didn't have PCOS, and I developed it later as an adult. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning. I had my 3 children. My periods were very regular, no problems at all. And then I started noticing around, I guess after I had my son, I was 25. After I had my 3rd child, I noticed that my periods were a little more irregular. It used to be like a 28-girl day on the dot. I mean, I could tell you the day to the T, and that would be the day. And I wasn't able to do that. I attribute it to having a child and having 3, you know, children, and stress, and so I just pushed it off. My period would come, but it just wasn't as regular. So that went on for several years, but it would become regular, and then it would be irregular, then it would become regular, and then be irregular. And my periods have always been very painful. I've always had very painful periods, so I didn't attribute that to PCOS, which is very common if you have PCOS, that you have very painful periods. So I exercised regularly, I ate healthy, and my periods got regular again. So it's been kind of this battle of like going through a span of time where they're irregular, and then they become regular again, and then they're irregular, and then they become regular again. So this past year or so, I've been under lots of stress with work, and lots of changes, that my periods stopped, like completely stopped. I didn't have a period from June of last year till December of last year. So today is, what is today? Today is January 19th. So I went from June, July, August, September, October, November, and then finally at the beginning of December. So 6 months without a period. And to be honest with you, I was like, hell, I'm not having a period. This is amazing. I'm so happy. You know, I don't have to deal with all that and the cramps and this and that. But my body was telling me something. My body was saying something is wrong. So I do have a tracker that I track my periods, because, you know, if we go on vacation, I don't want to have my period on vacation, or at least be prepared. And I was looking at my tracker, and I'm like, holy cow, 6 months without a period. And then all of a sudden, the water gates opened. I mean, I was hemorrhaging. Like, the amount of blood was insane. And I called my doctor, and she was asking me questions. Do I feel dizzy? Do I feel lightheaded? Do I feel like I'm gonna faint? Increase my iron intake, increase my vitamin C intake, and get in to see her as soon as I could. The thing is that I didn't have insurance then, so I couldn't see her. I did have a PAP before my insurance was cut, so that came back normal. Everything came back normal. So I was glad to know that at least maybe it wasn't cervical cancer of any kind. But of course in the back of my head I'm like, what if it's uterine cancer? What if I have a tumor in my uterus or something like that? So my husband and I sacrificed to put me on his insurance, which is astronomically high in price. But you know what? My health is more important than my bank account at this moment. So we decided to go ahead and put me on his insurance and go get me checked out. So I went to the doctor January 10th. I went to her January 10th. I had an ultrasound done. I had an exam done, and they sent it off to radiology like immediately, and they found 3 cysts on my ovaries, measuring 1 centimeter. So it's pretty, you know, they're pretty good sized cysts. So the radiologist did confirm that I have polycystic ovaries, and the lack of periods and the amount of volume of the heavy period that I had did indicate polycystic ovarian syndrome, as well as my hair thinning. I used to have luscious locks, but now my hair is so thin, like so thin. And I was starting to get a little bit of breakouts on my jawline, which also indicates a higher level of testosterone. And what other symptoms did I exhibit? I'm trying to remember. Oh, and little hairs popping out on my chin. I know it sounds gross, you guys, but little coarse hairs popping out on my chin, that's an indication of a higher testosterone level. And my inability to lose weight. I have always been a very, not very healthy, but I make better choices of food that I consume because I've always struggled with my weight. So I'm not a junk food eater. That's just not me. It just upsets my stomach. I don't drink soda. I only drink water and 2 cups of coffee a day. So I couldn't tell if it was something happening because something was wrong, or just because, you know, I'm 35 years old, I'm getting a little older, my metabolism's slowing. So I really needed to get this checked out, and I'm glad I did, because now I have the answer to what is wrong with me. And now I know how to cope with it and use it to my advantage to be able to be successful in my weight loss journey. And I did go ahead and start the medication metformin, and I'll go ahead and do a separate video on my metformin journey as well, because I know a lot of ladies have issues with that medication, and there's not that many videos out there on women who are taking metformin for PCOS. So what metformin is, it's actually a diabetic drug. What it does is it normalizes your insulin levels so that you can metabolize food better, and your body can readjust the hormones, because your hormones are delegated by your insulin levels, and the medicine normalizes those levels. So in turn, it's supposed to help bring down the testosterone in my body, and make my body metabolize food and fat more efficiently. So I am on week 1. I finished week 1 in 2 days, and then I increased my dosage. And I'll go ahead and try to do a separate video on metformin, because I know a lot of people are against it, and I'll give you the reasons why I decided to take it as opposed to going on birth control pills. So be sure to subscribe and look out for that video. But yes, I'm currently on metformin. I am currently on Weight Watchers, and I am trying to eat a more wholesome diet, more whole foods, more raw foods, more like foods of the earth, like literally. If it grows on a tree, if it, you know, is roaming the fields of the lands, If it is, you know, growing up from the ground, I'm trying to consume those types of foods and be more aware of what I put in my mouth, because now that I have this diagnosis, I know that I can easily put on weight, unwanted weight, if I make bad food choices, and I don't want to do that. I'm hoping that losing weight and eating healthier and getting all the vitamins and minerals and nutrition that I need will cure the PCOS. And then I can go ahead and live a more normal life and not worry about when my next period's going to be, if I'm going to be bleeding for a month, if I'm, you know, pregnant, if I'm not pregnant. And it's just a roller coaster ride of what next, you know. So I really want to get my body into its best shape, and for my hormone levels to be normal, and for my hair to grow back, because I mean my hair is so thin, and to really find a balance to be able to cope with the syndrome and fix it. That's my plan, is to fix it, and to use the tools that I'm learning now and carry that on into my whole life. Because having the syndrome, yes, it can go away if you make those changes, but it can come back. So I don't want it to come back. I want it to go away. I want it to stay away. It's not something that I enjoy. My emotions are all over the place. I'm already subject to depression and anxiety, so this just heightens those symptoms and signs of, you know, stress and all. It's just a mess, you guys. It is a mess. And having PCOS also raises the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, kidney failure, diabetes, infertility issues, weight gain, obesity. I mean, just there's a slew of things that PCOS is attributed to, and I want to live a long, healthy life. I don't want any of those things. I want to be able to live a healthy life and watch my kids grow and watch their babies grow and watch their babies grow. So I need to do what I need to do to be able to be healthy and to be the best me that I can be. So yeah, I really encourage you guys to comment down below if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them for you. I'm glad I finally have a diagnosis and I know what's wrong with me. We should not ignore the warning signs, you guys. If you feel something is wrong, please go to the doctor. Please, 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 please go to the doctor. Not a doctor, a few doctors. Get second, third, fourth opinions. I trust my doctor. I'm very confident that the treatment plan that we decided to go with is for me currently. That may change, but it is for me right now. I did not want to go on birth control pills because I did not want to put hormones into my body. We do know that, you know, some birth control can cause blood clots in the lungs and it just stroke, a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm risking the metformin route at the moment to see if that helps, and if it doesn't, I will find another way. We'll find another way and we'll get through it, and I'm gonna keep on fighting until I can't fight anymore. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated if you do. Let me know if you have any questions or video ideas that you would like to see. I'll do my best to answer them and give you guys what you want, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.